Hello everybody, it's me again. Now a bunch of you may be wondering, maybe asking a few questions like, hey, Rena, where have your streams gone? What have you been doing for like the past 3 weeks? What are you even doing here on YouTube.com? I thought you abandoned that site basically as soon as possible after you got tired of editing videos. Now what are you doing with Roxanne Wolf? Unfortunately for everyone, these are questions that I'm not legally allowed to answer and actually legally advised against answering by my lawyer. So you're gonna have to wait till next time. Let's just say I'll do it next stream, how about that? Regardless of that fact, to apologize for my lack of content, I'm coming at you hot. I'm coming at you smoking hot with some content. Some glorious Fear Maker content. I, as you probably know, have been streaming Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach for a hot minute now, and I'm ready to make the full conversion into Five Nights at Freddy's YouTuber. And in order to do that, I need to have my own solitary hot takes that are going to separate me from the rest of the Five Nights at Freddy's crowd. I need to say something that nobody else has ever said. And quite frankly, I have a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's hot takes, like a lot of them. It's a problem. This is me venting. Regardless of that fact, we're gonna be making some tier lists today. I know you guys love tier lists. You guys have just flocked to all of my already available tier list videos, of which you can find in the description right now. And I want to give you more of exactly what you want. Plain tier list content. And of course your next question probably is, Rena, why is your lighting so bad? And quite frankly, I never want to hear that question again. Never ask me. I will kill you. It's gonna be an issue. With that out of the way, however, let's get started with the Five Nights at Freddy's. We're gonna put in B right now, but I'd like to discuss, because it's probably not going to be its final position. I'll put them all in B to start, you know, just to keep it chillaxin'. Five Nights at Freddy's, the OG. It's an A-tier game. It's fantastic. It's great. I still love it. It's got the atmosphere. It's got the vibes. The characters are unsettling. It's gamer. It's gamer. It is a really fun game still, even to this day. Of course, you see a million YouTube retrospectives now, like saying like, "Oh, Five Nights at Freddy's, you know, it was actually pretty good." It was always good. I knew this. We all knew this. Come on. I've known Five Nights at Freddy's has been god gamer material since like when it released, and I've never moved on that opinion. All right, when you are all out afraid that Five Nights at Freddy's was cringe, all right, I was still here, fighting for my boy. Quite frankly, as the game that started it all, it hit like all the right boxes at all the right times. I'm gonna be real. Just playing that game again is still a little spooky. A little spooky, even though I've played it a million times. And also, I own the other Five Nights at Freddy's games, one of which happens to be Help Wanted. And still, the game is great. It's really good. I think I'm gonna keep it at A. I think it's the perfect place. It's still a pretty simple game, which I feel like, you know, I feel like that's correct, you know? Just as a game, it's so quality. Just, mwah. But unfortunately, we have things to compare it to now. We can't just talk about Five Nights at Freddy's 1 all day. As solid as that gameplay was, we gotta move on to FNaF 2. You know where it's going. It's going right in the schmeat. Did I just like not stop to introduce the game by putting it in B? That's right, I didn't. Did I say that I would like literally a few seconds ago? Maybe a few minutes ago at worst? Yeah, for real. I 100% did. FNaF 2, I'll be real, is goated. But, alright, listen. Alright, listen. I do love FNaF 2. I do. It's great. Ear check. But, as much as I love it, I gotta be real. The randomness in that game is fucking nuts. It's insane. It's nutso. It's batshit. It's annoying. It's annoying as fuck. I seriously cannot stand it sometimes getting absolutely schmooved on by animatronics and just sitting there like, man. Especially with the puppets sometimes. You're just sitting there and you're waiting for your turn to finally be able to, like, you know, fuck around with the puppet, wind that music box, crank that. And, like, it never comes some days. Some days you're just sitting there. Especially on the higher difficulties. In fact, mostly on the higher difficulties. It doesn't really happen like nights 1 through 4. 5 through 7 is where it's at, though. Oh, God. But still, despite that, I think everything else about Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is just on point. Absolutely perfect. I think Scott absolutely knocked this one out of the park. In his interview, he talked about, like, it being, like, a very stressful time in his life. And quite frankly, I think that came through in the game in the best way possible. And quite frankly, I love it. But this game's stressful as fuck still. This game is still, as annoying as it may be to play sometimes, I feel like it does contribute to that vibe of panicking the fuck out. Which was clearly the intention. Because, I mean, like, there's so many weird, like, things going on in that game. With the mask that you gotta keep up, with the lights you gotta keep up, and winding that music box. Oh my god, I hate that music box, but it is such a panic-inducing mechanic. I cannot stand that music box. It gives me nightmares. I love it. And quite frankly, for that, I think it does earn its spot at an A, probably above the original. I think we could put it above the original. I really do think FNaF 2 just kind of knocks the original right on its ass. Of course, it wouldn't be anywhere without the original, but like what it does with that formula is new. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Okay, now it's time to talk about FNaF. Uh-oh. I'm actually gonna listen. I'm actually gonna do the thing I told you I would. Let me tell you, FNaF 3 hits a weird spot with me. I love a lot of what FNaF 3 is doing, but man, that gameplay is so fucking weird. You're going right down C. And I don't put it on C. I know it says cringe adjacent, but that's true. That's not true. FNaF 3 is still a banger experience, I'd say. It really is. I love me some FNaF 3 when I'm not playing it. FNaF 3 just comes across as one of those games that's like a lot more fun to watch rather than like actually play, which I feel like contributes to, like, you know, the vibe of Five Nights at Freddy's, but still, kind of wish it was a more playable game. And I don't mean that in the way of like it's broken or anything. It's fine. It's completely fine. It works completely as intended, I'm pretty sure. Just the way that's intended to work is a little weird. Because there's only one animatronic really to go through and, you know, route around, it feels a bit finicky at times. It's kind of hard to get the feeling of like how to get it working right. And it's a little sketch. I'll be real, it's a little sketch, just a bit. Like the audio lore stuff, I don't know. I never truly know if like using the audio lore will ever actually work. I'm just like crossing my fingers and praying that that's the case. And the phantom animatronics are just annoying as fuck. I'm gonna be real, they're just annoying. That's all they are. They're not that spooky. Okay, they're a little spooky. Just, but they just like jump scare you, and that's like all they do, and then they take out a few things, and it's just like, right, cool. But then the actual jump scare comes around that kills you, and it's fucking doo-doo ass. Just the worst. You know, again in the like Doco interview, you know, talks about making FNaF 4 just to follow up on 3's shitty ass jump scare, and honestly, I believe every second of that. I believe every single goddamn second. That jump scare is not okay. I do not know how it got past any sort of testing. What happened? And that aside, I mean, everything else about the game I think I really enjoy. There's some dumb obscure stuff for the lore mini-games, but honestly, I don't mind it. I don't mind it, especially with the community that Five Nights at Freddy's had at that point. I kind of like the vibe that it's putting out, sort of like an ARG kind of feel, kind of type beat, you know? It's that kind of feel, and I'm kind of into it. I've always been a fan of ARGs and stuff like that, so the general, like, hidden lore vibes that FNaF 3 is putting out, I'm picking it up, you know? By the way, if you think for a second that I'm not going to be adjusting these ears, like, the entire video, and you're going to notice every single time I cut that the ears are a little different, you have no idea what's coming. But overall, I think C is like a great place to put it, because it's still great. It's still Five Nights at Freddy's, you know? And Springtrap in this game is so good. But we'll get to that later. Alright, FNaF 4. What's FNaF 4 doing? FNaF 4 is also a pretty interesting game to talk about in the year of our Lord 2022. Mostly just because, like, honestly, I think it has the opposite problems of FNaF 3. Maybe that sounds a little ludicrous to say, but honestly, I really think that is the case. The gameplay in 4 is so good. It's still scary as fuck, and I honestly think it's still the scariest Five Nights at Freddy's game by a long shot. Like, honestly, what other competition is there? Maybe the original, if you squint, but man, 4 is still hella spooky to this day. Especially having to, like, lean in there, you know? But man, that feeling of, like, just staring down into, like, just staring down to that hallway, just not knowing if there's anything there at all, listening intently, hoping to God that you hear something and you are correct when you press that flashlight button. Ugh, God. Terrifying. Awful. Hate it. But on the other hand, the lore is so fucking whack. There's so much weird shit in this game that just does not make any sense. It's weird. And because, like, you know, the lore is botched a little bit, kind of takes it down a little bit of a peg from, you know, the first two. Just a little bit. I really do think that this is the hot gameplay, though. This is the hot gameplay. This is where the gameplay comes in. If we were just judging these games on their gameplay, it'd be no competition. But there's more that goes into a Five Nights at Freddy's game, you know? It can't just be oops all lore or oops all gameplay. That's not how it works. You gotta get a nice mix of both. You gotta schmix them in, you know? Though I will say, the introduction of Fredbear, very cool. Love his design. Out of all the Nightmare animatronics, I really think that Fredbear is the top tier. And ironically, I think Freddy's the lowest. And honestly, if I'm gonna be real, I know some people aren't into, like, the Nightmare animatronics. Couldn't be me. I kind of love the vibes they're putting out. They just, like, pointy ass motherfuckers everywhere. I'm here for that. I love spikes. I'm fake ass goth. Of course I love spikes. Oh god, we have to talk about FNaF World now. I'm regretting everything already. I should not have made this video. And FNaF World is so disappointing. It's so disappointing. I do not like FNaF World. It is a bad video game. While further updates did try to fix FNaF World, it just no. Stop. I do like the other updates of FNaF World, but the problem is that they're attached to FNaF World, and that means you have to play them while doing FNaF World things, and engaging in FNaF World combat, and wanting to die. FNaF World is such a visual overload at times when you get into battles, that it's mindless. I hate it. I cannot comprehend what's going on, and I already fucking hate JRPGs, so that is not a great combo. There are like 2 JRPGs I will kind of tolerate. The Mario & Luigi series, and Shin Megami Tensei, that's about it. Oh, and I guess Paper Mario. Aside from that, this is not okay. This is not okay. Especially, like, you know, pre-patch, holy shit. It was a dumpster fire. I'm gonna be real. Okay, it wasn't the worst thing ever, but it definitely does belong in D tier. Come on. I don't feel like that's a hot take. Is this my cold take video? Is this my cold takes video? I feel like it might be my cold takes video, actually. I might have mislabeled it a little bit. Man, I wanna like... Maybe if it came out at a different time, I'd be a little more okay with it. And maybe if it wasn't made by Scott Cawthon, who, I'm sorry, just does not know how to make RPGs. No. Here and now, though, it's not working, and the updates are only helping so much. Sure, there's some cool meta lore stuff, And sure, all the like meta humor is cute and funny and cool, but it's still fucking FNaF world. That's not going to be something that changes anytime soon, no matter how many times you update it without completely changing it from the ground up. Sister location. Man, I love sister location. I'm gonna get out of the way. This is the schmeat right here. We found it, boys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I just put sister location, a semi-contentious game, above FNaF 2. I literally don't care though, because I'm fucking right. Listen, you have to understand me, alright? There are only so many Five Nights at Freddy's games that you can play in a row before you want to die, you know? 20 nights of the same general type of gameplay is not it. You can only do so much with that. But Sister Location, on the other hand, Sister Location comes in hot with a new structure, similar gameplay, but a new ass structure to keep things interesting and fun with a new location and different feeling animatronics. Like, okay, listen, I know all the other games also have different animatronics, like Herder, yeah, you know, shit, Sherlock. But, like, they all have the same, like, similar kind of feel, you know, a little run, you know, they're, like, different mixes of, like, I went to Chuck E. Cheese once, it was a little run down, and I didn't like the pizza. That's their vibes, you know? But Sister Location comes in hot swinging with a way different course. It comes in with the sci-fi. And I know a lot of people don't like the sci-fi. I love the sci-fi. The sci-fi is great. I need the sci-fi, alright? This is a game about fucking animatronics getting goddamn possessed by dead children who are all murdered by a guy with a shade of purple permanently plastered on his face at all points in time, alright? As far as I'm concerned, sci-fi has a place here. And it's always had a place in Five Nights at Freddy's. When is it not? It's always been a little on the sci-fi side of things, just by virtue of being about, like, robots and stuff. And now the robots are cooler, so, like, I honestly don't understand why that's, like, a contentious issue. The most contentious thing about that game, okay, there's one thing that just, like, about that game that I don't like. It did, in fact, bring illusion discs into the main series. Huge ass mistake. I don't want to think about that anymore. But aside from that, the story of, like, just not even like the deep lore, the baseline story of Sister Location is so engaging and interesting on its own, and it brings some real schmeat, dare I say. Like, Sister Location, I feel like, is a game you can, like, really enjoy even if you don't, like, know anything about Five Nights at Freddy's, or if you don't know anything about the story of the original 4 or 5 Nights at Freddy's. It tells a, like, self-contained story and also delivers excellently on that. It makes sense when you look at it isolated, and you don't need a fucking PhD in Five Nights at Freddy's lore to get what's generally going on. And that one idea that it sells through its main story is so fucking creepy to me. At least to me, it's really fucked up. I hate it. It makes my skin crawl. I do not want Ennard crawling in my insides and controlling me. It sucks, man. Well, okay, I wouldn't say that I wouldn't want that, but outside of sexual circumstances, I would not want that. Not only does the game, like, play great, not only does it feel pretty great, it looks pretty great too. The modeling has seen, like, a huge fucking upgrade. You can always tell one of Scott's models, you know? They have this, like, dingy look. they got a dingy look. They got a weird kind of, like, texture to them. You can tell from a mile when Scott Cawthon has made a model. But man, these ones stick out like a sore thumb against the rest of the cast. It's in a really cool and interesting way. They're all nice and shiny. Like, none of them are, like, matte like the rest of the cast. They got that swing going for them. They got that swing. Like, just all over. It's great. And because of that swing, they really give, like, you know, these animatronics their own sort of identity too. Baby stands out for sure. I love what they were doing with Baby. It looked sick. It was cool. was interesting. I mean, it wasn't the best thing ever, but again, it was somewhat self-contained as well. While also, of course, consider all this, that all this still ties into the greater franchise in a way that's pretty satisfying and cool, which is crazy. And for that reason, I'm putting Sister Location in Schmeat, alright? It's a little different from the rest of the series, but I fail to see how that's an issue. I fail to see how that's an issue. If you like the stuff, if you like the loop stuff, then just play Custom Night. Just play Custom Night. Custom Night got you covered at all points in time, as per usual. FNaF 6. Yeah, that one's going right in Schmeat. FNaF 6 is so fucking good. Scott has said that he's like really happy with this game, and so am I. It came right out of nowhere and bonked us right on the head with raw quality. Not only does it throw another schmixer into the details, you know, with the pizzeria part of the pizzeria simulator, but like, it's still got that original core loop that the old fans enjoy. I really do feel like it's a game for basically every kind of FNaF fan. If you like the newer stuff, you got it. You got the stuff, you know? You got all the weird animatronics, you got all the weird stuff. It's cool. But if you like the old stuff, you got a bunch of that as well. Like the night-to-night gameplay is like absolutely ballin'. It really does evoke the original Five Nights at Freddy's feel, and while also feeling fresh and unique, and it's one of the few games that feels like you don't have to get into like a very simple gameplay loop that you just have to find. It still feels adaptive and interesting, even after like 15 different times over. It never feels like you truly have a hang of things, and even if you do, you're still vulnerable as fuck to getting just demolished. And man, alright, I'm gonna be real, fuck the rest of these games, this is the end of the Five Nights at Freddy's lore. I literally don't care what anyone says, I don't care what Steelwool says, I don't care what Scott Coffin says, this is the end of the Five Nights at Freddy's lore, full stop. Maybe Ultimate Custom Night on the end as a little bit of a treat, but like, for reals, let's be fucking honest. Let's be honest with ourselves here. This was it. I'm pretty sure at this point, like, every single Five Nights at Freddy's fan has that goddamn, like, that entire end monologue of the true ending of the game fully ingrained in their heads, because it's such a monumental historical note. Just to perfectly cap off the entirety of the Five Nights at Freddy's lore as we really know it. Mwah, 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 magnifique. And like, honestly, all the cool mini games you can play and stuff during like the actual like pizzeria builder, and all the cool things you can find, like lore and not lore related, are so fucking cool, and at the very least interesting and quirky. Like, I feel like Pizzeria Simulator is one of those games that you could probably play for a million years and still find something new and interesting about it every time you play it. And that kind of replayability is like just infectious. Just straight up infectious. You could play this game forever. It's super fun. And honestly, I don't think that's a quality that a lot of the Five Nights at Freddy's games really have. You kind of just pick them up, play them once, and put them down. But Pizzeria Simulator, you could probably play multiple times over, come back to reliably, and still have a fantastic time. Even if you already know what's going on. It honestly even adds to the experience a little bit. So honestly, I think it's deserved its S ranking. It really does a lot of fantastic things. I still wouldn't put it over Sister Location. Sister Location is my favorite FNaF game of all time. I'll be real on that one. That's just correct, sorry. Ultimate Custom Night, let's go. Ultimate Custom Night's weird. Ultimate Custom Night is like ultimately a game that I accept is not for me, but it's still pretty good. Personally, I'm not a big fan of like the heavy gameplay, like Survive the Night vibes. It's just not for me, you know? I'm not a biggest fan of that. Like, the challenge is not built for me, you know? I just don't have the time to put into Ultimate Custom Night. I know people do. It couldn't be me, though. You know? But at the end of the day, it is completely free, which, by the way, also, Pizzeria Simulator is also completely free, which also keeps it in S tier. It's completely free. You get one of like the best FNaF experiences for completely free. Insane. And then you also get us Ultimate Custom Night, also free. Super fantastic deal. Thank you, Scott Cawthon. Holy shit. And it's clear there's like a lot of effort put into this game. Like all the like weird intricate mechanics, they all interweave with each other in really interesting ways, and it also feels like one of those games you could probably play forever, especially if you don't have any outside help. The ultimate challenge of doing 50-20 mode, honestly, you could probably be at that for a while. It's one of those games you could probably take to like an abandoned island and be alright for a little bit. And Ultimate Custom Night is just like a nice way to end off like the general body of what I guess I would consider normal FNaF games. You know, the ones made by Scott Cawthon, and the ones that really matter in everyone's eyes. It's just like a nice, perfect send-off to like the entirety of Five Nights at Freddy's. If there was no Five Nights at Freddy's games after this, I would be completely okay. I'd accept that. It would be a little saddening, but I'd be okay with that. I'd learn to cope, I'd learn to accept it, and it would be fine. So I think B is just like the perfect place for it. I think it's got like a little too much going on with its mechanics, and it can get dumb and overwhelming. But at the end of the day, that is what it's going for, and it just kind of isn't for me. I still prefer the more manageable side of Five Nights at Freddy's, which is why there are 4 games above it. And actually 5 games above it. I just realized I put Ultimate Custom Night in a pretty bad spot. But I swear I don't hate it. It just isn't for me at the end of the day, and I'm completely fine accepting that. And I still think it's a pretty great game for what it's going for. And the small little lore tidbits are just cute. They're nice. It's a nice way to end things off. I don't remember which one was next, but we're gonna go with AR. You're going right and C. I don't even need to think about it. I'm not gonna spend too much time on FNaF AR. It's alright. It's a cute little mobile game. It works for what it is. It's a short little spooky experience. And it's got microtransactions, so like whatever the fuck. I don't care. FNaF gotcha? FNaF gotcha. I mean, ultimately I can't really care about it that much. It doesn't really impact me. It's a pretty low C. The only thing that's keeping it from D is that it does look pretty nice. It was professionally developed, and it's at the very least an interesting curiosity for a little bit. So there's that. Alright, Help Wanted. Help Wanted. Our friend Help Wanted. Steel Wool Studios' first foray into getting lambasted by the community. Welcome. Help Wanted is such a fantastic game, I'm gonna be real. I really like Help Wanted. It's really fun. A lot of the remakes are super duper cool to play, especially in VR. It's okay, I'm gonna be real. If you didn't play Help Wanted in VR, you didn't play Help Wanted. This is a game that is 100% built from the ground up to be the VR experience. And porting it to like a not VR platform, it just sucks. It just sucks. The Help Wanted port that isn't VR sucks. It's just not as engaging like that. The realistic vibes that it tries to go for with all the buttons, who cares? If you can't actually press the button, who the fuck cares? All the fun in Help Wanted comes from it being a VR game, so like playing it without the VR is just absolutely cringe, not based, not even a little bit. But man, when you're in VR, holy shit, you want to die. Not because it's a bad game, but because it's good enough that you would rather be dead than going through that much stress and anxiety. It's just a more preferable option. I think putting an A like this is a pretty good place to put it, because not only does it contain FNaF 1 and 2, but it contains updated versions of them you can play in VR. Come on. I still don't think it quite achieves the highs of like Pizzeria Simulator or Sister Location, because, you know, it just isn't going for that kind of thing. It is kind of staying a little bit as a remake with some additional content, which, by the way, all that additional content is fantastic. It's super fun. I do really enjoy the vent repair and the parts and service. Fantastic ideas on the behalf of Steel Wool. Bravo, knocked it out of the park. Holy shit. All the blacklight stuff looks super cool. I really love that they took the the creativity route with the blacklight mode, it really feels super inspired and feels like it's like following in the tracks of the Five Nights at Freddy's series in a way that feels reasonable and still exciting. All the cool visual stuff they do with the blacklight mode is so fantastic. It's not just like, ooh, spooky neon, ooh. There's like a lot of cool, interesting effects and twists and turns and just general fun to be had. It really does feel just purely inspired by the raw energy of Five Nights at Freddy's in a way that really excites me and got me really excited for the future of what Steel Wool would be doing when running off this creativity. Honestly, if I'm gonna be real, the ending, like the main one, the not hidden one, super fucking good. Probably the best in the entire series, maybe outside of Pizzeria Simulator, which I don't think will be beat just because of the lore satisfaction. But outside of that, like, wow, finally getting to see from the perspective of a lost child what it's like to be in the Five Nights at Freddy's residence and getting pulled back to a room and stuffed, holy shit. It's legitimately unsettling in a way that none of the rest of the series is. It really brings forth the idea that's always been in the back of our heads as we theorize about Five Nights at Freddy's, and just puts it in front of us in a way that forces us to confront the fact that it really is more horrendous than a number on a game theory video. It is super easy to get kind of caught up in the, like, you know, like, oh, just, you know, 5 children died, because, yeah, it's just kind of an accepted fact of the series at this point, yeah, that, like, yeah, of course 5 children died, yeah, you know, Bull Mac murder, yada yada yada, because, you know, we've just sat there discussing it for so fucking long. But actually living through that experience in this surreal nightmare is visceral in a way that I don't think I was ready for. So I think Help Wanted has for sure landed its spot of, like, among the classics, I'd say. I feel like people are going to be looking back at Help Wanted for a while as a positive experience. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be talking about Dreadbear. Have not seen Dreadbear. Soon. Security breach. Alright, this is where I start losing people. This is where they click off the video because they weren't ready for the actual hot takes. You're going right here. Yep. I'm sorry. I like Security Breach. It's a good fucking game! I don't care if it's buggy out the ass. I experienced only like half of those things. And quite frankly, I still loved every goddamn waking second of it. I will not be tolerating any slander in the comments whatsoever. I don't think it's earned its place in S, though. I think I can earnestly say that over the course of streaming Security Breach, I've probably had the most fun with Five Nights at Freddy's that I've ever had in my life. I'm gonna be real, it's super fun. The first-person gameplay is something that we've all been looking forward to for so long, and finally getting it is honestly everything I could have possibly asked for. Everything I could have reasonably wanted out of Security Breach, I got, and then got more. And man, I've heard nothing but like, oh, there's a lot of cut content, no, you know, it's our problem, blah, 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 blah. Dude, even with all that cut content, I feel completely overwhelmed by the content that is there. It's absolutely insane. I still haven't even seen all of it, I don't think. I probably haven't. How fucking cool is that? Everything this time around, they came out of the gate swinging. Alright, talking about the graphics of that game, holy shit, they're so good. They're so fucking pretty. This is by far the prettiest FNaF game. Not even a question. Probably one of the prettiest games I've played in a long time. Security Breach feels like it's stylized in a way that isn't like completely simplistic, but it also isn't completely abandoning its cartoonish roots. Like, holy shit, does the game feel like a goddamn Pizzaplex. When you're in the Pizzaplex, you feel like you're in the Pizzaplex. And when you're walking around the Pizzaplex, you're like, man, I wish I was in the Pizzaplex right now. That was like my entire vibe, like the entire game. I was just thinking, man, I want to be here. The environment is so cool. The neon lights work wonderfully. And the whole place just gives off this wonderful vibe that I did not know was possible. And didn't think I would be getting, even if I'm to be honest. I walked into that game fully expecting that I would be a little offended by the way that Pizzaplex was portrayed because it was a little too much. But honestly, the game completely sells it. Of course, along with selling its environments, it really sells the animatronics too, in a way that I really enjoy. You see, look, alright, listen, alright. I want you to look at the fucking, like, thumbnails of these games right now, alright? Just look at them, alright? With FNaF 1, we got the normal looking 80s animatronic, okay. With 2, we've gotten a little more deliberately creepier, you know, we've got a little more uncanny, it's withered, makes sense. With number 3, alright, we've started to go into, like, what the fuck are we doing territory. This is no longer a game about uncanny animatronics, it's about spooky animatronics. Now we look at fucking Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Oh my god, everything has spikes. It's overtly terrifying. Great. We have Sister Location with those fucking crazy ass, completely impractical, pop out like psh, faces. Yeah. We know what you're doing, Scott. We know what you're doing. Remember, we got. Okay. Well, you can't see it here in the thumbnail, but I promise that. I promise, alright? You just have to trust me that FNaF 6 didn't go much. Didn't deviate from that trend. Like, bitches, have you looked at Scrap Baby or Scrap Trap? It's... Come on, alright? With Security Breach, however, I feel like we return more into the uncanny vibes rather than the overtly terrifying vibes. And quite frankly, I like both. Yeah, I like both. They can coexist. I can like them both. It's fine. They can both exist in my brain and make me happy for different reasons. Wow! And because of the way that it sells its animatronics, it really does earnestly feel like a place I would want to go as a child, you know? Like, with like the rest of the Five Nights at Freddy's series, I look at those establishments like, fuck no. Even as a kid, I would have told them to fuck off. If my parents brought me to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza at one point, I would have cried. I would have hated it. No, why would I ever go there? But with Security Breach, I completely understand it as a kid's restaurant, just straight up. I understand it way more than basically every other establishment. It's great. I love that vibe. It evokes a more interesting feeling in me, you know? Instead of just being like, oh, look back at these weird animatronics, they sure do look weird, you know? Like, okay, that's fine. You know, making the animatronics look deliberately spooky is fun. I like it, honestly. It's pretty cool. I love the designs that Scott comes up with when he wants to make something really spooky. I mean, just look at Springtrap. Look at that boy. He's so cool. I love him. But on the other hand, I also like the idea of a more innocent corruption kind of vibe that I feel like Security Breach does a little better, because it feels like a place I actually want to go instead of a place with a creepy fucking animatronics I want to burn to the ground because there's a goddamn serial killer there. Of course, that all to say that the game is also a broken mess, so I completely don't blame anyone for completely bouncing off of it. And if you were to come into my comment section and tell me that you just don't like the game because it doesn't work and it doesn't quite vibe with you, yeah, that tracks. Yeah, that's right. That's correct. Security Breach is definitely not a game for everyone, but it is definitely a game for me. It struck all the right chords with me. I did not have that many issues with it. I had maybe one soft lock that put me back like maybe an hour at most, and that's completely fine. I kind of went in expecting it, and I made a bunch of saves, so it really wasn't that much of an issue. And if you were to play Security Breach, I'd probably recommend you do the same. It is a broken mess right now. Even with the patch, we need some help. And the best part is, Security Breach is only going to get better with the years, as Steelwool continues to work on it, as they seem to be doing right now. We do already have one, like, patch, and we're going to be getting more of those, probably, with more of that content coming back in full force, more bug fixes, more optimizations. Please a lower file size. Please, I beg of you, Steelwool, for the love of all that is holy, please. I want my computer to have space. I only have so many hard drives. And as that continues to happen, I imagine this thing might just make its way up to Schmeat tier. But for now, I think if it's nice, then hey, I think it's nice. It's fun. It's really fun, actually. It's super cool. Yes, I will make a full Security Breach video at some point. No, I'm not going to tell you when. Fuck off.